All right, folks, welcome back. Harmless Dave over here on the Real Media Observer today. We've got a special guest. We've got researcher and author James Roguski with us today, who's got some very interesting information. I've known James for quite some time, at least as an acquaintance. We go way back into the Tulsi Gabbard run for the presidency, and we were both kind of sharing information and just kind of picking each other's brains about how we could help Tulsi. James has been involved in a lot more. He's a really smart guy. James, welcome to my little platform here. Thanks for being here.
Oh, David, thank you so much for having me. I'm going to dive right into it because this isn't about me. This is about an emergency. I'm normally very calm, cool, and collected, but this is a 5-alarm fire. We need all hands on deck. I'm not kidding. This is very serious. A month or so ago, I did not hack, I just uncovered information that was nicely hidden. And I'm going to dive right into the information. The United States mission to Geneva submitted amendments to the WHO, World Health Organization, that would change international health regulations, which is something that until that time, I'd never heard of it, you'd never heard of it. Lawyers I've spoken to said, what are the international health regulations? Well, that's what governs the activity of the WHO. Now, the reason why they did that in January is that in the regulations, when you want to make an amendment, it has to be given 4 months in advance of the World Health Assembly, which is scheduled for May 22nd to the 28th. So all of our delegates from 194 countries around the world are going to be meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, May 22nd to the 28th, and it's on the agenda that they will be voting to either approve or reject a slew of amendments to 13 of the articles that are in the international health regulations. David, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Not in this detail. No, I think the only reason I've heard a little bit about this is because I saw you on another show in which this certainly got me concerned and got me very worried. So please explain in layman's terms what this might mean for the United States.
You should be shocked, you should be frightened, you should be angry. I don't like to play with people's emotions, so feel what you want to feel about this, but once you learn what this is, and I'm going to try to explain it.
Okay.
It's mind-bending, there's tons of information, and the core of it goes back to China, and you'll do a better Trump impression of China, okay? One of the arguments that happened, or at least, whatever it is we think we know happened in Wuhan in 2020, the WHO seems to be of the mindset that none of what came afterwards would have happened if they had only been given the power to unilaterally declare an emergency and override the Chinese opposition. So what happened back in 2020? There's many things that happened, but something that we know is that they got wind that there was a problem and they went to China to investigate. They didn't get cooperation, so they went away. They came back again. They decided that, yes, this is an emergency. The WHO sent up the alarm, and you know everything that happened after that. They seem to believe, the WHO seems to believe, that if they had just had the legal authority to say, China, we don't care what you think. We're saying it's an emergency. We're going to lock everybody down. We're going to take over. We're stepping in. Then none of the next 2 years would have happened. Forget about ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and sort of stuff. I said that magic word. I don't normally say that. I say biological injections. They want to grab power. And the amendments, for those who are detail-oriented, they're changing Article 12, Section 2, and it essentially wipes out 194 nations' sovereignty to decide whether or not, they allow into an international organization to step in and take over. You have a question?
Can you just repeat that part about how many nations again, just for the audience to hear it again?
The World Health Organization has 194 members, a couple of observers, and so forth. And Taiwan is its own little thing, but it's basically the entire world. So if you're looking for one world government, then vote for these amendments, because you'll have it in November. Because the way this is structured, they're going to vote in May, and there's part of the deal, that the amendments that they're doing is then there will be 6 months before nations have time to comply and change their own, their own national laws to comply with this. And in November, you've got your one world government. If you don't get up off your butt right now and go to where you can get all of the information, a friend of mine, and I'm going to try to do her justice, Rima, this is for you. We were talking about it, and she said, they're trying to steal our sovereignty. They're trying to take away our rights to decide what happens, on our own land. And her sort of catchphrase is, don't you dare. Now, there's a finger in there that is appropriate, but she uses all three, right? And so that triggered something in my head. So all of the information that anybody needs to know is on don'toudare.info. My name is James Roguski. My phone number is 310, look at that, 310-619-3055. We have less than 4 weeks to wake up the world and alert them to the fact that not just the United States, every country in the world's sovereignty is going to be given away to the WHO. And there's a 6-month period in November. You have a choice. You can sit on your butt and do nothing. And you got your one world government in November. Or you can get up off your ass, get informed, spread the word, take action. If you have a question, give me a phone call. James Roguski, 310-619-3055. Don't you dare.info. David, I love you, man. I haven't disagreed with anything you've ever said that I've seen. I'm sure we'll maybe have a beer someday and find something that we disagree on. But so far, let's put a bookend on this. You mentioned Tulsi Gabbard at the beginning. Tulsi, we love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Tell Tucker.
Yeah. Hey, James, you've got a Substack, right? Tell us where to find that.
It isn't about me. It's jamesroguski.substack.com. Don't you dare.info will take you right into the heart of that. And you can contact
don't you dare.info.
Oh, all right. You know what? I'm glad I messed it up, and I'm glad you caught me, because everybody does that. I should have got don'tyoudare.com, but it costs $50,000 and I don't have that. Don't you dare. Thanks for catching me, David. Don't you dare.info, 310-619-3055. If you're an activist and you remember, David, I don't mean to put you on the spot. We didn't talk about this. Right. If I say TPP, what comes to mind?
Trans-Pacific Partnership.
95% of people say, what, there's a shortage of toilet paper again? Oh, shit. These amendments to the international health regulations are the TPP rising from the grave, having morphed into something different. The TPP, you're showing your cred. Took you no time whatsoever. Essentially, they wanted to steal our sovereignty and give it over to corporations. If you had a problem, you couldn't go to court. You had to go to their, corporate pseudo fake court. This is worse because this does not have to be approved by 2/3 of the United States Senate, because this isn't a treaty that has to be approved. And there's all kinds of talk about a pandemic treaty. That is a skillfully crafted distraction. I can talk to people about the pandemic treaty, but I won't until June, because until June, that's just a distraction. These are amendments to a treaty that our buddy George W. Bush allowed us to get into in 2005. And I'm being facetious. We're just amending a treaty that we're already part of. It's not going to go through the Senate. Ideally, they were hoping, and I just got put here by some force that is looking kindly on me. I was researching as I do, and I found a document that was supposed to be hidden. Their goal was that in January, when they submitted it, it would go into the gears and the workings of the WHO and pop up in the middle of the assembly, get voted upon, get approved, go back down underground. Then it would all get turned into an acting regulation in all 194 countries around the world. And then it would pop back up and it'd be one world government. Nobody saw it coming. I'm here to say I am shining some light on something that was hidden in darkness. And I'm just asking everybody to help spread the word.
All right, James, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for this. This is very important information. This video is going to go up on several different platforms, Odyssey, YouTube, and Rockfin. And again, I want to thank James for being here. And let's get serious about this. This is, hate to say it, but this is sovereignty, life or death here for the United States. And for that matter, for all the other countries around the world. All right, James.
Global.
Until next time, buddy, thanks again, and spread the video far and wide, and we'll talk to everybody soon.